Well, good evening, everybody. It's the news at 10, but totally different. We've never done a news at 10 before, Paul. So is this the first? You look. Do you know what, Paul? You look like you're sitting in a news studio. You've got the line in the background. You've got like all the stuff going on. That could be, all you need is a whole lot of people on computers behind you, and that's it. You'd be in the. I'm not going to insult you and say the BBC News. You could almost be.
Yeah, I
in,
was going to say, don't
you can't
insult
even
me.
say you can't say Sky News. You can't say ITV, and even GB News is getting dodgy now. So I think
Mate.
we might have to take this slot a couple of times a week. And do you know what? There was someone I was talking to a couple of months ago, and in fact, I'll say who it was. It was Richard that works with Jeff Taylor, and they were talking about doing a breakfast morning show. And I think maybe he's doing something like that might be a bit of fun. We'd have to split it up because there's no way you could do every morning because, like, you know, we all like a bit of a lion. But if we did one morning a week and did a breakfast news show to see if we can challenge the what do you call it, the hegemony, challenge the elite. You know what I mean?
Do you know what, mate? I tell you, GB News, right? Just recently, I mean, look, it's 11 o'clock where I am, so I can do it. Do you know what? Just lately, they've been proper, haven't they? Sorry, everyone, but I mean, honestly, dear oh dear. How is everyone? Everyone in the chat, good evening, all. Lovely to see you. We're all raring to go. We're raring to go.
Listen, 10 o'clock at night, what else would you be doing at 10 o'clock on a night? Hey, there's nothing better to do than be actually watching us talking about what's happening in the world.
Watching paint dry might be more exciting.
Well, no, I was going to say there was a couple of live streams on today. I'm not going to say who done them, but man, look, I'm not going to say any more than that, Paul, to get myself into trouble. There was a couple of live streams going, oh man, you know, you needed. It was like an endurance test for the SAS or something. You know what I mean?
To be fair, I'm exonerated because I never see him, so I don't know what you mean.
No comment. I'm not going to say who it was or what was happening. So let's dive into the news. Let's think about Suella. I mean, I know it's kind of yesterday's news, but I mean, do you know what? A lot of those Tories are actually starting to get this now. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Don't ever think I'm going to ask anyone to vote Tory because I think they're a complete set of scoundrels. But there are some good ones in there. You know, there are some good individuals. Nick Timothy taking a massive stand against the Islamophobia bill, made a very brave pronouncement in the House of Commons of what he thought about Islam. And he said, it's not my religion. It's not what I believe, and so on and so forth. And he was very bold about that. And then Suella. Yesterday, Paul, what about Suella? What do you think?
Well, I've always been a fan of Suella's, to be fair. I look, do you know what, Richard? Sometimes you listen to someone, you look them in the eye, right? And you watch the expressions on her face. She cares. Suella's a carer. And I love people that care. Ben cares, right? And they're very similar. I'd love to see Suella and Ben get together. From
she's
a
married.
View.
I was going to say, married, Paul. I don't think Raoul Braverman would appreciate that, Paul.
Yeah.
We're allowed to do that. It's after the 10 o'clock watershed. We can say pretty much what we want. You know what I mean?
That's the site as well, isn't it? That's the fault. Ben and Suella. I won't go down that route.
Stop.
But no, seriously. I mean, they make a great team. I've got a lot of time for Suella Braverman. I think she's a lovely human being. And I believe that people like Suella were genuinely gagged and held back by the liberals within the liberals and the lefties within the Tory party. And I think Suella has got... I think she's got a big future. I really do. I think, the people will warm to her. And again, it's a horrible thing to say. It's a shame we have to say it. But she has that advantage of not being a middle-aged white woman.
Well,
which gives her an advantage.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think the thing is this, Paul, her husband, Raoul Braverman, right? Now, again, this is speculation, so if anybody thinks I've got an inside track on this, I don't, right? I just want to qualify that. But her husband has been making some very... Well, he did that poll, didn't he, Paul? He did the poll on his Twitter, and they went, okay, who would you vote for? Tories, 8%, right? Reform, 52%. And the Upstart Party, which both me and you are very proud to be members of, and you shortly, I think, can I announce what you're going to be soon, or are we going to keep that one under the wraps?
You can announce. Yeah.
Paul's going to be on the college. So the reality is that Raoul is making friendly noises about Advance, and I think there's a lot of people looking at Advance and waiting to see what happens, right? And waiting to see, what happens when we get to 30,000, what happens then, and they're kind of waiting to jump. But I think Suella could make a leap,
I do,
and I think it would be very good for her because she wouldn't have the shackles. She's in the Tory party. She's chained, right? Now, Robert Jenrick seems to be saying the same thing himself, but I'm cynical about Robert Jenrick because, and at one point I will do a video on it again just to remind people. Robert Jenrick was quite happy to throw patriots under the bus that were standing outside migrant hotels, illegal migrant hotels, 2 years ago when it wasn't trendy to do it. When there was only like maybe 30 people doing it right the way through the whole of the UK. We were doing it in Belfast, and he threw us under the bus for the sake of an Alliance Party MP. So, Jenrick, I'm not sure about. Suella, when I did the anti-Semitism march the day after we did the one in Parliament Square. Paul, yeah, do you remember the one in Parliament Square? The day after that, we had the anti-Semitism march with all the Jewish people walking from Russell Square down to Parliament Square. I think down to Downing Street.
Yeah.
So Suella was there on the march, not leading it, just in the crowd. She was walking in front, and she was just chatting to people, And I'm filming, going, look, there's Suella, So she is a woman of the people, And she didn't have a massive amount of security. There was a husband. I think one of her children was with her, and maybe one or two security guards that I saw.
I mean, look, Richard, I think, sorry interrupting him, mate. Yeah. I think the mark of the new politician now is someone that is prepared to get out and get in the crowd amongst the people.
Yeah, I agree.
Go and meet your people. You're not a pop star.
Yeah.
You're not a famous footballer. You're a politician.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Angelina. I really appreciate that. I will say, look, it's a great honour to be invited onto the council. I've still got to do my interview that actually gets me in.
Yeah.
I will say that, look, at the end of the day, for me, I think there's 100 places on the council. For me personally, I would be happy if they can find someone better than me. I'm happy to stand aside.
Yeah.
Because what matters to me, Richard, is that we get the best people. And what I can tell you is some of the people that are coming on board and the way the party is being built from the base upwards. This is like a skyscraper that is being built on very firm foundations.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a WhatsApp group that contains a lot of the people within Advance, and the things that are going on and the way this party is being built, we should all be utterly proud, win, lose or draw. We should be immensely proud that we are a part of this.
I agree.
Because this, speaking to Ben just yesterday, this is a genuine people's party.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something now, Richard, right? Ben is under a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
You better believe it.
And he knows it.
Yeah.
He knows it. Ben said to me in an interview yesterday that there's not a minute of the day that goes by that this isn't on his mind.
Yeah.
And I tell you why. We both know Ben. You know Ben as well as I do, right? Yeah. We've met him. We've been in his company quite a bit. He's a very determined man, but he's also a man of his word. He doesn't want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
And right now, Ben Habib has the weight of a nation on his shoulders.
Yep.
The hopes and dreams of a nation on his shoulders, and he knows it.
Yeah.
And I would, honestly, I'm going to beg everyone, please give Ben your support. Please join the party. Please get behind him. And that's not because I've been invited to be on the college. In fact, like I just said a minute ago, if I thought it was for the better, I'd stand aside.
Yeah.
I just want to win.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
well,
it.
I mean, as you know, a friend of ours that doesn't like to have too much publicity, but I'll say his name, David, said to me, he said, "Look, Richard," he says, "I'm playing to win," and I think what you got with Ben, I mean, look, You know, I know what I am, and like Clint Eastwood once said in one of his movies, a man's got to know his limitations, and I very much know my own limitations, right, and my own failings. But I think, you know, when someone like David, who is a very successful individual in his own right, very intelligent, massive thought leadership, you know, a real leader. But you know, when David leads, you don't even realize you're being led. And that's the sign of a good leader. He's not having to bollock people and shout at them. And in fact, I'll say something actually. Tommy's like that as well, Paul. Tommy's a sort of leader. You know, Tommy could say to 10,000 people, over the top, follow me, and those 10,000 men would be running behind him, right? You know, he would have been a fantastic military guy. So would Dave. So would David, and so would Ben, because they've got that quiet, assured leadership that doesn't need to be bombastic, shouty, and bullying. You know, that's why I'm saying I know my limitations, Paul. You know, but you know, but the point is, I don't see in the people, and again, I'm not privy to. I'm just a member, but I know some people that are very senior. You know, sort of making decisions in the party. So I'm not privy to the stuff you're privy to. But the reality is, from what I see, there's no ego there. There's nobody. You know, and I think the way the party's been set up, if there was ego, it would be able to be dealt with very quickly.
They're gone. That Richard, brilliant point. And when you was talking about Robert Jenrick a minute ago, look, I mean, I think there comes a time when we're going to have to give good people a second chance or a chance to redeem themselves.
Well, I don't think he's a good person. That's why I don't want to give him a second chance.
Yeah, but the point of the matter is that the way the party is being built is that if we do get any wrong uns amongst it, they're easily removed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that goes right up, by the way, to the very, very top.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of checks and balances there, and the other thing is, Paul, let's get it right. You know, you could put a cigarette paper between what's written in the pledge and what's in the mission statement. You know, I mean, I'm going to say this, right. There was a tweet went out today, and it was, believe it or not, the chairman of UKIP was basically making all sorts of accusations on Twitter about the use of our data, and, you know, tagged advancing, tagged the pledge in, and then tagged the information commissioner in. Now, I'm going to say something here and now, right? I'm going to say something, Ben Walker. Ben, that is not the way a patriot behaves. That is the way a spoiled little brat behaves that's on the losing team when he's playing five-a-side football. So knock it on the head, put your big boy pants on. It's over for you. Just get used to it, and don't play silly games like that with us, because it's bang out of order. And I'm just going to say that very, very clearly.
I wasn't aware of that. That's very disappointing.
It's very disappointing. It's just childish. It's pathetic, you know. And at the end of the day, look, you know, I know where the bodies are buried, and if you want to play that game, you can play that game. You know, that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, what I would say is that for me, I'm happier now than I've been politically for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because what I'm witnessing here is many, many very good people, genuine, honest, lovely people coming together.
Yeah.
Not because they want to, but because they know they have to. This isn't a party built on ego. This isn't reform.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is the total opposite. And Ben, I can tell you now, and I know he won't mind me saying this, and even if he does, I'm going to say it anyway. I tell you now, Ben Habib is a proper person.
Absolutely.
A proper person.
Absolutely.
And he will treat Joe Bloggs in his he will treat white van men with the same respect as he would treat a delegate from a government of another country.
Paul, there was somebody criticised the party on Twitter, right? Just someone with a fair, decent following on Twitter criticised the party. Ben DM'd that person, right, and just clarified what was going on. You know, now I don't think there's any other party leader, and I know a lot of the party leaders. I don't think Nick Tenconi would do that. I don't think Nigel Farage would do that. I'm absolutely certain that Keir Starmer wouldn't do that. But Ben DM'd this person. Ben is unbelievably busy. He's running a massive business empire, right? Yeah. He's kind of like a Donald Trump type figure in business. Let's get it right. He is in the elite when it comes to running business, and he's built it from nothing, and he's built it himself, right? So Ben is extremely successful, extremely busy, and he answered this person, a DM on Twitter,
Yeah.
and it shows the measure of it. And I think, I've never been mega excited about a party before, and I can't remember who. Somebody was saying it on one of the streams I was watching, and he was saying about when Ben. I think it could have been Dan Wootton, and he was saying about when Ben was in what do you call it, in the Brexit party, and in when he was in Reform, he didn't have this sort of passion and this fire, and now he's running Advance. He's a completely different person.
Yeah.
Completely different person. And, so look, we've got to do this ground up, because nobody's going to give us any breaks. We're going to get loads of abuse. Ben's going to get attacked mercilessly. Anything that any of us say, even if we're not, in positions in the party, if we're prominent and we're identified with an Advance, anything we say or do will be used as a stick to beat Advance with. We know that. But we've just got to be ready for all that. We've got to stick together like glue. And this is now the team. And I don't think we go begging people to join. We don't say, "Oh, well, come on board, UKIP." We'll put no. If you don't want to, if you join like everyone else. You join as a member now. Just sign up. You know what I mean? We don't have to go begging anyone. And I think it's really time to get serious, Paul, because the bottom line is our nation's at stake, and we can't play games, right? We can't play games. This is literally a last chance saloon. If this there was people saying in the comments, Paul, earlier about my video. I did a video. If you haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube channel. It's on my Twitter. I did a scenario of how a civil war could happen. Now, I did that for a specific reason, so that it doesn't happen, so that people will actually see that and say, okay, we know what's happening. We're not going to go down that road. We're going to go down the political route. And I was very clear about that. Join the Unite the Kingdom movement, sign the pledge, join Advance. And we've got all these tools in the box now, Paul. We've never had this before. That's why I'm happy just to be a member of the party at the minute, because the tools that we got in the box, like the pledge itself's a full-time job. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And we've got all this other stuff going on. So I'm just so excited about it, Paul. I just think it's brilliant. I've just got so much confidence in the team that, yes, there's going to be banana skins. There's going to be mistakes made. There's going to be hiccups, and there's going to be problems. That happens in every area of life. I make about 1 million of those mistakes every single day. So when you've got, a lot of people involved in an organization, things are going to go wrong. But do you know what it is, Paul? I'm going to say something. It's going to sound very soppy, but it's going to have it's having the grace and love to forgive each other when people make mistakes.
Yeah,
which they
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Richard? I said in a video that I released this morning, the people that have been having a pop at me, do you know what? I'm not angry with them.
No.
I'm not angry with them.
Nope.
I'm really not.
Yeah.
I understand, and I said in the video, I'm still going to fight for them, and I don't care. They can dislike me, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll still fight their corner.
Yeah, exactly.
And because we love our country, we love our people, and ultimately, hopefully, one day we can all open a bottle of champagne together, and it'll be like VE Day all over again.
Exactly.
We need a second VE Day.
Well, except without the war, Paul. We want to do it without the war.
Without the war, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Now, the reality is that if there is here's another thing, right? If there ever is a conflict in the country, right, you want to know the government's on your side.
Of course.
Because I tell you something now, all these armchair warriors that are wishing for civil war probably never fired a weapon in their lives, Paul. To be honest with you, probably never fired a weapon in their lives. But all these armchair warriors have just knocked everything, all my light and everything's
Richard,
gone there, Paul.
Can you do the washing up before you come on live,
mate? It was. I was just reaching for my baseball there, mate. It was all the talk about civil war, Paul. You know what I mean?
Mate, we're supposed to be doing the news at 10, and he's playing around with a crockery.
I'm an old crock, Paul. That's the problem, mate. You know what I mean? I'm an old. Didn't have my glass on. Couldn't see what was going on.
Oh,
that light's gone anyway. It looks better. The lighting looks better like that anyway. You
look more like you're looking like Trevor McDonald sitting there with them glasses on.
That's because I've been on the beach for 3 days this week. That's why I'm looking like Trevor McDonald.
Right.
But we're going to get in so much trouble for this stream, Paul. But where were we? You've totally. Oh, not Richard Kemp. I didn't see this. I didn't see Richard Kemp talking about predicting civil war. Now, these are serious people, Paul. Richard Kemp is a very, very serious and intelligent man. I'm going to be meeting a guy in the next couple of days. I'm not going to say who he is, but he's a very, very influential man in the military, right? And you know, I don't know who he ever meets me because but anyway, when he comes to Northern Ireland, he always has a chat with me. But and he's exactly the same. He's saying, look, the country's in real trouble, and they don't know what to do, Paul. They don't know what to do. But I think a lot of the problem is they don't understand what we are or who we are, because I'm talking about the left-wing lunatics that run this country. They just think we're all, you know, frothing at the mouth, wanting to have a conflict and wanting to destroy our own country. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Yeah.
We want law and order. We want peace. We want freedom. We want prosperity. We want sovereignty. We don't want to have, you know, foreign ideologies coming in and bullying us and intimidating us and pushing their supremacist ideology in our faces. We just want a proper country like it was. We just want Britain like it was in the 90s. Do you know what I mean, Paul? Wasn't the 90s great? Yeah. You know, it was great.
80s were even better.
Yeah, the 80s were. I was walking the streets of Belfast backwards with a rifle, getting shot at. So the 80s weren't that good for me. Well, that's another story.
I was in the Old Kent Road nightclubbing, mate, so it was pretty good for me.
Yeah, you were all right. You were there with all the yuppies, weren't you? You know what I mean? You know, mobile phone the side of a breeze block.
I've got to tell you, there weren't many uppies down the Old Kent Road, but there you go.
I'd say so. Yeah, that was always very cheap on the Monopoly board, wasn't it? You get something for
few guppies, but not many yuppies.
Don't talk about London women like that, Paul.
Hey, you leave the South London girls alone; they're as good as gold.
Oh man. Anyway. Right. Yes. So where we going? So we're talking about the news. So Suella advance. I mean, it's all going to plan. No, I want to talk a bit about what's been happening in Northern Ireland. Now, a lot of my viewers are in Northern Ireland. Obviously, I'm based in Northern Ireland. We've been doing a protest for years outside the migrant hotel. Now, things have basically hotted up in Northern Ireland, and the protests are getting more people going. By the way, guys, share this video everywhere. Like and share. We're up at 900. We want to get over 1,000 on this. Paul, when I do these, I get 300 people, mate. It's because you're on the channel, man. You know what I mean? You're pulling all your fan base in. But yeah, let's get this over 1,000, guys, because we're talking about important stuff. So basically, just for the viewers in England, people in Northern Ireland know what I'm talking about. There's been a frenzy. There's been a Salem witch hunt, right? So basically, a few lads in East Belfast have been going out, just doing sort of, how would you call them? Just walking about the streets, seeing if anybody's in trouble, if there's any issues, trying to help people, helping homeless people. And if there's anyone looking a bit shifty, having a word with them, saying what you're doing, you know, where you're going, you know, all that sort of stuff, right? Now, again, the reality is, as far as I can see, as far as I know, they haven't done anything illegal. They're just trying to keep their community safe. But the media have been going mad about it, Paul, calling them vigilantes, the politicians. This is the way it goes in Northern Ireland, right? There's a big fat slug of a man called Stephen Nolan. He's one of the local shock jocks. You know, he works for the BBC. Very strange guy. I think he still lives with his mother or something. But anyways, very, very, very weird guy. And but he's got a big mouth and he's got a big audience. And of course, all the politicians love kissing his backside. And he's been attacking these young lads that's been going out doing these, if you want to call them patrols. I mean, they're not armed, they're not beating people up. They're literally just walking around, seeing if people are in trouble and seeing if they see anything that appears to be threatening. And Paul, the reason they're doing it is because the police aren't doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
If the police were doing their job, they wouldn't be out there, would they?
Exactly. So they've been called vigilantes, etc., etc. So anyway, as you know, we do an event on the Friday night. We do a demonstration outside the Migrant Hotel every Friday. Been doing it for the last 2.5 years. Always been peaceful until I got run over last week. But that's another story. So bit of a kerfuffle last week. The police phoned me, said, do you want to press charges? Turned out the guy who'd ran me over, his kid was autistic, and I thought, like, because you know yourself, Paul, if a court case like that goes wrong, that guy could be going to jail for 10 years, could be flipping, attempted murder, assault, reckless driving, whatever. He could certainly be doing a bit of it, maybe not 10 years, but a couple of years. And I thought, do I want to have a guy whose kid is autistic have his dad took off him and slammed into prison? Now, a lot of people said, yeah, you should have prosecuted him. I don't think it's that simple, because, he made a mistake, right? He made a mistake. He did what he did. It wasn't right. But I don't want to send someone to prison, right? So anyway, the police got in touch when I said, no, I'm not pressing charges. Anyway, today I'm sitting in the house. I think it was about 3:00 in the afternoon. The door knocks. There's a copper standing there. And I was like, because you know what it's like now. We're all paranoid, Paul. I was like, can I help you? He says, oh, yeah. I was just wondering, have you guys that do the Friday night, have you got any ideas of doing any of these street patrols? And I was like, nope. I said, and to be honest with you, it's not really any of your business. If we did decide to walk around the streets, that's not illegal. We wouldn't be breaking any laws if we decided to go around and make sure that, people were safe. Because this is what this is about. It's not about, and again, it's like what happened in Ballymena. It's not about race. It's not about anything other than making sure that young women and girls are safe from people that we don't know who they are.
From predators, potential predators, yeah.
And Paul, the last few days in the town I live in, there's been reports of a migrant who's armed, roaming around into estates and threatening people and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. It sounds like he's got mental health issues. But if someone's got mental health issues and they've got a knife, that's not really my problem. What the problem is, what's that man going to do to my daughter, my granddaughter, or my wife? Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about, right? If I'm out in the afternoon and he gets into my house or gets into my daughter's house, right? That's what concerns me. I'm sorry, if the guy's a migrant, he's got mental health problems, not my problem. Not interested. Do I care? No, I don't, because I'm more worried about the safety of the community than someone who shouldn't be here. The guy got arrested by a SWAT team this afternoon, by all accounts, in the town where I live, literally 2 minutes away from where I live.
So right? They've lifted him, yeah.
They've lifted him. They've got him. But Paul, I mean, if they hadn't got him, so when I hear all the pearl clutching and Stephen Nolan, swooning in his chair and, oh, look at all these horrible racist bigots that are doing patrols in their areas. No, we've got an influx of people who we don't know who they are. We don't know where they've come from. We don't know what their intentions are, roaming about our country and doing goodness knows what. So if people are walking the streets at night because they want to keep old grannies in their houses safe, they want to keep young kids that are maybe out when they shouldn't be out safe, they want to keep young women safe, to me, I'm not going to stand there in judgment and start condemning people that are doing something that I would quite happily do myself. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it because, we haven't decided what we're going to do. But so anyway, the upshot was this cop says this, and then he says, oh, will you meet with my inspector? And I thought about it. I thought, well, what harm is there in actually going and telling a senior police officer what intentions a peaceful protest has? Because that's what we've done in England when we've met with the old bill about Tommy's demos. And it actually does help because they know where you're coming from and what you're doing. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a friend with me. I'm going to record everything just so there's full transparency so everybody knows what's going on. But again, it's not really the police's business to be knocking my door at 3:00 in the afternoon asking me what our intentions are when we've been doing a peaceful protest for the past 2.5 years. Yeah. I think there's a measured amount when the police send someone to your door to ask you about something that you're doing that's not illegal. There's a measured amount of menace and threat in that, which I don't really appreciate. I mean, what do you think, Paul? Am I being paranoid?
No, look, I think, paranoia, that's a good word, isn't it? I mean, we're all bloody paranoid, because everyone that's stuck their head above the parapet is waiting for a bang on the door. That's the bottom line. Just before we go any further, can I just give George a shout out? Tomorrow, they are getting together again in Clacton, 7 p.m. tomorrow. George, good luck with that tomorrow. I know that a few of the other boys will be down there as well. I know they're going to keep it all nice and peaceful, nice and orderly. And by the way, I was watching Tim Davis on Liam Tufts earlier talking about the power of the optics of the ladies that went to the demo dressed in pink, to Dancing Away, to Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
The optics of police standing in front of them.
No. But that's right. I mean, look, that's it.
It was so powerful, and Tim was absolutely right about that.
It says everything. It says everything. Here's one here. What is the pledge to sign? Let's sign it. Okay, let me just get it up on screen here for you, Alan. Just bear with me 2 seconds. So I mean, what do you think about the police coming to my house, Paul, when I haven't committed any crimes?
Well, look, you could look at it two ways, Richard, couldn't you? You could look at it that they are just generally, inquisitive, and they just want to make sure they know what's going on.
I hope that's the case.
Which would be to a degree fair enough.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that to be the case, if I'm honest. I think there's just like what happened to Danny. There is an air of intimidation.
I think so. I think if a policeman calls to your door and you're not a victim of a crime, you haven't committed a crime, it leaves me scratching my head saying, okay, what's his agenda here? And that really, again, you've got to say, is it political policing? Now, again,
of course, Richard.
I'm going to go and meet this guy's senior officer, because I think if there's something that has to be discussed, then you're better hitting things head on and saying, okay, why are you actually discussing? Why do you want to see us? Why do you want to meet us? What is the threat that you believe we pose to security or law and order or peace? Because that's what I want to know, because that's really the only time a policeman should be getting involved. As far as I'm concerned. But look, we'll find out. I'll go and see the guy. I'll record it, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, so that's a bit of news from Northern Ireland, and the lads up in the east. Again, they seem to get a lot of stick, and in my opinion, it's completely unfair and unwarranted, and I don't like that sort of stuff happening. But
yeah. Richard, can I ask you a favour? I've got a video that I'm hopefully going to release before the weekend.
Yeah.
I've just uploaded the first 2 minutes. It's a preview of the video that is coming out, and it's all about, the video's going to be about the collaborators.
Yeah.
The collaborators in our country. If you can play that little clip,
let's try, Paul.
I think the viewers will enjoy it.
My technical ability at the best of times is extremely limited, and when you're uploading stuff to my server, let's hope it works.
I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery. People in this country have a right to be safe. People in this country have a right to be safe.
2 migrants from this hotel, and I know they're from this hotel because I've seen them walk up and down several times, jumped out of the bushes onto me and my mum.
I won't shy away from calling it what it is. Far-right thuggery.
Hey, yo, free Palestine! Free Palestine!
But I think, apologies for the language you're hearing, but essentially...
No. He's gonna us. Gonna do the same to us.
Far-right thuggery. Far-right thuggery. Far-right thuggery. Far-right thuggery.
Importance of free speech today.
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud of that. We've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud of that.
Sorry, I like that comment there, Paul. Starmer reminds me of Max Headroom. I love that, Paul, by the way. I think that's absolutely superb, mate. That's brilliant. I'm looking forward to that coming out.
Richard, we're going to talk, I want to talk about the collaborators in this country.
Yeah.
And that is where I believe we are at. We are now looking at collaborators.
Yeah.
And it's a strong word, but people are collaborating.
I agree.
And they need to, the people and the groups and the authorities that are collaborating and, in my opinion, committing crimes need to be spoken about. But that's for another video.
Well, no, it is, but I think it's very, and I think there's very subtle collaborators as well. To me, look, none of us are perfect in this movement, right? But people that are constantly nitpicking and finding fault in people and plotting against Tommy, plotting against me and you, plotting against, Tommy's team, those people are the collaborators. They are the traitors. They're the ones that basically, in some ways, they're worse than the ones that are very obvious collaborators like, Hate Without Hope and Little Penfold that works there. The reality is there's some very, very bad people there that want to stop us doing what we're doing. And you've got to ask why, because we've made it very clear. Tommy's made it very clear. Every video Tommy does, peaceful, bringing people together. Every video Ben does, bringing people together, unity, democracy, freedom, equality, democracy, sovereignty, right? What's wrong with that? Like the principles that the Advanced Party are built on are beautiful principles. Freedom, same as the pledge. By the way, the guy that was talking about the pledge, dive onto the site, mate, have a look at it, read through it. And anyone that hasn't done that already, thanks for your question about that. Thepledge.org.uk. The pledge is basically an ideology for our movement. And what's happened with Ben, and we didn't plan this, Paul, because I think a lot of people think we planned this. We didn't plan this. What happened with the pledge is Ben read the pledge, liked it and signed it. And as he's built his party is completely aligned with the values of the pledge. That's what, that's why the two things are so closely connected. And I said this, I was talking to our friend David earlier on today, Paul, and I hope you won't mind me saying so. But I said to David, and he agreed with me, I'm sure you'll agree, Paul, if Advance ever deviate from what the pledge believes in, we will publicly say that they've deviated from the pledge, and we will withdraw any support that we've got from Advance if they cease to basically, organize a political party on the same grounds as the pledge. And I think so, I know a lot of people are butthurt about this, but it's tough. The reality is, we've got to do what's right for the country. So is that the same with the United Kingdom thing? How can anybody attack United Kingdom? Yes, by all means, attack people in the movement. But what people have, people's faults and people's flaws in their lives is nothing to do with what the movement's trying to achieve. Every single human being is flawed, and I think it's insidious what some of these, and they are traitors, Paul. They are traitors, and I think
look, I just want to concentrate now on getting everyone together. That's all I've ever wanted.
I know that, Paul. I know, and it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Traitors, all of them, absolutely evil. Anyone that's dividing, deliberately dividing and damaging what we're trying to do, it, in my opinion, is a traitor. It's as simple as that. So, and I think we've got to be extremely robust on that in expressing that. And, to me, the lifeboat, bringing border force, the police. The police are basically being used as a paramilitary police force at the moment.
Have you noticed? I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'll tell you what, Richard. I think I've noticed a slight change in many of the officers' demeanour recently. A lot of them look thoroughly pissed off.
Yeah,
thoroughly pissed off.
Absolutely.
I mean, that video the other day that I played during the live, and they're all standing there with their heads, but they look like a load of naughty school children in front of the headmaster.
Yep. Oh, totally.
How much longer? How much longer can they take this?
As long as the paychecks go in, unfortunately, Paul.
That's the problem.
Most of them. The problem is as well that they not all of them think like us either, Paul. A lot of them are bought into this nonsense, right? I mean, obviously, because we've been doing the movement for so long, we've got to know a lot of the police liaison coppers, and they tell you obviously what they think you want to hear, and so on and so forth. But a lot of their jobs gathering intelligence and trying to suss out people's intentions, which is fair enough. I mean, that's what they're paid for. But so that, but the problem comes when I've had stand-up arguments with senior police officers at numerous demonstrations. Now,
I've witnessed them.
Yeah, but the thing is, Paul, I've been forceful, but I haven't been aggressive. Well, maybe it's been aggressive, but I haven't been violent towards them, because if they're in the wrong and they're doing something that's jeopardizing the peace, which is what they're meant to be there to keep, I'm going to call them out, and I'll call them out on it publicly. I'll call them out on it, face to face in those events, and I've done it behind the scenes as well. So I think there are some very good police officers that we've dealt with on those demonstrations, but there's one or two that to me, and hopefully they'll not be there on the 13th, but are bad apples.
I'll tell you what I'm going to say, Richard, and I hope you don't mind me using your platform to say this, but I want to say something about UKIP, Nick Tanconi, Paul Golding, Britain First, all of the parties and the people that have been around the patriotic scene for many, many years, a lot longer than I have, for example. There's a time now when I believe that all those people's good work should be recognised.
Yep.
We should be grateful for it. We should thank them for their work and their love and their service to their country, whilst appealing to them and their followers to join us.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%.
I've tried my best never to say anything bad about a fellow patriot.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's any mileage in talking badly about other people.
Yeah.
So, nobody is perfect. People often get things wrong. But my appeal to all those guys from all the movements, everyone that has red, white and blue in their heart, now is the time to put egos to one side, put your country first. This is our biggest, this is our best chance. Come and join us.
I totally agree.
That will be my appeal to them. Thank you for your service to our country.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reality is that the time for playing games is over. We need serious people that are going to do serious business. And again, Paul, I have not, I'm not pushing myself forward in advance. I've got so much going on in my life at the minute. I've got so many different irons in the fire. I've got the business. I've got the pledge, which obviously, as I take a lot to do in the background. I've got my own channels. And and then I've got activism in Northern Ireland, which obviously I'm getting. I just predict that we're going to get heat. No matter what we do, we're going to get heat. You know what I mean? So I would commend anyone to join Advance just as a member. Just join as a member. From what I can see, there's some really good people involved in Advance, right?
Oh, magnificent.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm being introduced to a lot of people that I've never met before, that I've never spoken to before.
Yeah.
And I've got to tell you, what a brilliant group of people.
Yeah.
Lovely super chat there.
Yeah, thanks. Do you know what, Paul? I didn't realise you actually had them switched off by accident. I didn't realise. I'm a numpty. But yeah, best thanks for that. Stop being so hard on yourself, Richard. We'll be lost with you. I think you mean with...
No, she got it. She got it right. What Bess has done there?
No, Bess, I do appreciate that. It's a Freudian slip.
She's giving you a fiver, and that's her way of saying bugger off, Richard.
Yeah, stop being so hard on yourself. We'll be lost with you.
But she's absolutely.
No, I know what you mean, Bess. I know what you mean.
Nice one, Bess.
No, Bess, thanks for that. Bless you. And no, I mean, look, she's laughing. Oh, guys, but yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, that's the whole point is things are grim, right? There's a lot of bad news out there, but like I always say with us, I think we've got something very, very special now. What do you think's going to happen with reform, Paul? I mean, obviously there's going to be a fight back. There has to be, because I don't know if it's right, but Dan Wootton was saying today that he believes Ben's been banned from Talk TV and GB News.
Yeah.
Is that
is, they have ghost. Put it this way, it's my understanding that he's being ghosted.
Yeah.
But let me answer your question, because it's a very good one and a very interesting one. We haven't got to worry about reform, but I'll tell you why. Reform are imploding.
Yeah.
they're plotting against themselves every day. The party is attracting more and more numpties and losing more and more good people.
Yeah.
And they're all coming over to Advance UK.
Yeah.
Now, there's going to be a tipping balance. There's going to be a point where Reform are coming down, Advance are coming up, and then all of a sudden what's going to happen is that.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I agree with that 100%. And I think a lot of people are holding back. Carol, thanks so much for the super. Look, Carol, I was a member.
Not Carol.
Sorry, Carl. Sorry, mate.
Right, we've got transgender super chats now. Look,
Paul, get me a new pair of glasses, for goodness sake. Should have got the Specsavers. Do you know what I mean? Carl.
What is he
listen, Paul. The guys just bought a super chat. Don't highlight my mistakes, mate. Do you know what I mean? No, Carl. Listen, seriously, brilliant. I mean, I think UKIP had its time. It had its purpose. To me, it's just not what we need at the minute. It hasn't got the massive support financially and politically that Advance has. I mean, you just don't know what's going on in the background, Carl, is massive. And everything that Nick Tenconi's saying at his speeches, which is great, he's saying all the right things, but that's all going to be Advance policy anyway. But they're going to have a lot more to the toolbox than just get everybody gone. It's like there's going to be a lot more than that. We've got, obviously, Tommy's put his weight behind it. We've got lots of really, really experienced, very, very clever people working in the background, building policy, and they're good people. And I would say, look, the reality is, if I'm wrong on this and UKIP comes through like a stalking horse and wins, I'll put my hands up and say, yeah, guys, you got the prize. But they ain't gonna. Do you know?
Here's the thing,
it's as simple as that.
We are building, from what I can see,
not
only the best structured political party this country has ever seen, but it's being built with the finest minds this country has to offer.
Yeah.
From every aspect, from business to health to defence to home affairs to foreign affairs, right across the board.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, again, look, I'm not really looking at reform.
Can I deal with that?
Yeah, please do, Paul. Yeah, please do.
Neil, you may be right on the numbers, but when you say there's no signs of Reform UK imploding, if you knew what was happening in the background, which, to be fair, there's no reason why you should know. Yeah. But there's a lot of things happening in the background. I'll tell you now, I'm trying to think of a good analogy, right? I think about 80 to 90% of Reform members will join Advance in a heartbeat once these two parties are, or let's just say once Advance UK has revealed its hand, I believe 80 to 90% of Reform members will switch sides like that.
I think you're right. Paul. I think you're right. And I think it's very interesting that last week, I can't remember the woman's name, the new Reform MP, she was coming out with some really strong right-wing rhetoric, but Nigel wasn't. She was saying stuff, and they've done this with Lee Anderson as well. They send out the sort of, the ones that sound a bit like that lot. Yeah. Do you know
they're very clever. Nigel, look, listen, like him or loathe him, he's a very clever man. He knows exactly what he's doing. But I warn everyone now, if Nigel Farage is our next Prime Minister, and by the way, I'd welcome that compared to Keir Starmer, but if Nigel Farage is our next Prime Minister, he is not going to deliver what this country needs. I guarantee it. I promise you, he's not.
Look at this.
Ben Habib would.
Yeah, Paul 5491. Now I said Paul and not Paula, right? I'm getting my words right now. Paul, thanks for the super chat, mate. That's appreciated. Joined Reform about 6 months ago. Not the same now. Joined Advance on Sunday. Ben seems like a very clever bloke. And Paul, he is. My friend that works with him said he's got a brain the size of a planet, which I thought was, and I know that the guy that said that has got the brain the size of a planet as well. So that's a lot of brain power that's been put together there, and that's just the people that I know. And again, I don't know everybody that's in advance. I'm not in the inner circle, but the reality is, I trust these people implicitly because I've known them for a very, very long time. And listen, I've been fooled before. I joined parties that weren't going anywhere, but there's a different energy with this.
Yeah, totally different.
And
totally
the leadership qualities of Ben, I mean, he is a leader, but he's not a bombastic bullying leader. He's very quiet, very understated, but he's extremely articulate, extremely intelligent. I could see Ben Habib, jetting off to see the head of the EU and giving them what for. And he would be the one that would come out looking good in the picture and not the head of the EU. You couldn't see any of these bumbling fools doing that.
Imagine this. Imagine how Ben Habib would get on with Donald Trump and JD.
Yeah.
They would
absolutely.
be the best of buddies. I'll tell you that now. They would be the best of friends.
Yeah. And as well, Paul, we've got to think about this. Ben's probably not going to be dealing with Donald Trump. He's probably going to be dealing with JD Vance. Yeah. Right. And I would say they're very similar in personality, because JD Vance is not a very loud and bombastic type of character, but he's extremely focused. His message is absolutely on point. He's extremely good at communicating. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Trump's great, but I think for what we're going to need not just for the UK, but for Western civilization, we'll need Ben Habib's, JD Vance's, Maloney, Wilders. It's going to need those sorts of people. Yeah. Not people that are sort of rock star, populists, but people that are extremely intelligent, but absolutely get the threat that Western civilization is facing. And let's be honest, it's the communists, the globalists, and the Islamists. It always has been. Since I have been banging on about this since 2017. Actually, I've been banging on about this since 1984, but 2017 is in public. I've been saying exactly the same thing, and I haven't changed my rhetoric at all. And it's still the same threat.
Richard, Winston Churchill warned us of it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Winston Churchill warned us of it back in the 1940s. If we didn't listen then, is it not time to listen now?
Oh man, I mean, absolutely. Enoch Powell, I mean, there's been prophets that have been telling people, a pastor in Belfast in 2000, I think it was 2013, 2014, was dragged through the courts for saying exactly what's happening now was going to happen, and he called it, and he was dragged through the courts by again, it was a media witch hunt in Northern Ireland. And I feel, like I say, I'm going back to those lads in East Belfast. I feel they're going to find the same thing. They're going to get targeted by the, by the police. But I've been predicting this. I think before this is over, a lot of us are going to be in prison cells, and unfortunately, some of us might lose our lives because the left are vicious. The Islamists are vicious. The globalists are vicious. They don't have any mercy, Paul. They don't have any compassion, and that's what we're up against.
Yeah, that's what separates us.
Yeah,
we do have compassion, and we have compassion for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. Of course we do. And that's the right thing to do, because at the end of the day, if we're doing this out of a place of hatred, then we're going to lose. You've got to do it out of a place of loving your country, loving your people, and basically even loving your enemies. And what you said earlier was very good, Paul. And I think we'll go back to that, because you said you don't bear any grudges against people that have done you harm. And it's taken me a long time, but I'm the same. And believe you me, people tried to do me and did do me a lot more harm than probably anybody else, that I've ever come across in my life. However, because of, you can't move on in life if you're holding a grudge against someone, because it doesn't just point. If you're not forgiving someone, it's like trying to give your enemy poison and then drinking the poison yourself. It just eats away at you, And I think again, in what we're doing, it's going to be very important, because I still think there's going to be some very rough times ahead, Paul. This isn't going to be a bed of roses, right? We're going to be have to go through some very rough times.
Can we just discuss that? I mean, Neil, I can't see most ex-Conservatives or Labour voters moving to advance. You know what, Neil? Listen, we don't need them. I tell you what it is, my friend. I tell you who we need, Neil.
You're right.
The 16, 17 million people that voted for Brexit.
Yep.
We smash it.
Yep.
We smash it to pieces.
Yep.
You know, look, listen, most people or a lot of people that vote Conservative or Labour, they'll probably still vote Conservative or Labour, a lot of them. A lot of them will maybe vote Reform. But at the end of the day, we are targeting ordinary people that care about our country.
Yep.
The people that voted for Brexit. Now, there are 16, 17, 18, what was it, 17 million? I can't remember now.
Yeah, it was 18.4 million. It was 17.4 million people voted for Brexit. 17.4 million.
And this is the next general election. Basically, it's like a Brexit vote in many respects, but it's far more important. This is a good versus evil vote.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very simple. If we can spread the message, and everyone watching this tonight can spread the message, and hopefully gets to understand the situation that we're in. It's very simple. It's not left or right.
Yep.
It's not Reform or advance. It's good versus evil.
Exactly. No, it is, Paul. I just want to pop this up on the screen here, Paul. This is something that basically I'm sure you've heard about. Labour Council to remove British flags from city streets. Did you hear about that one? Yeah. So it says here, Labour-run council has ordered the removal of Union flags from lampposts. Residents in Birmingham have installed hundreds of Union and St George's flags on the city streets in the past fortnight in a patriotic outpouring. However, on Tuesday, the council announced plans to remove the flags, claiming they had put the lives of pedestrians and motorists at risk, despite them being 25 feet off the ground. Right?
You know what, Richard? Richard, I've got to agree. Over the years, I've lost a lot of friends to flying St George's crosses.
I mean, really? I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing, you know. And I mean, the thing is, it's not funny because it's just indicative of what these petty, pathetic, weak politicians are like, you know. That it's embarrassing, you know. Of all the things that they could be doing, they're trying to get people, and it's just
Richard. We need to get rid of the goddamn lot. We need to send them back to the jobs that they were doing before. Let them get on with their daily lives. Let them get on with doing whatever they do best, and get some proper people in charge. And you know, there's people in the comments saying, you know, like, you know, Nigel Farage will be better than Starmer. I've just said so myself, but of course he would. But we don't need to settle for second best. We've now got the best.
Exactly.
And the British people, the British public, we've all got to wake up and go, do you know what? We're British. We can do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can do this.
But Paul, that's you know, that there is not just a petty attack. You know, they're using petty laws. It's like Ezra Levant said about Tommy, and we could say this about, you know, there's a friend of mine in Belfast had literally done nothing wrong last year when all the riots were going on. He'd been attacking government policy on a certain issue, on a tea issue, a counter tea issue, and basically the police came and kicked his door and took all his computers. He still hasn't gone back. It's over a year, right? Smashed his house to bits, right? And tried to arrest him for a social media post he didn't even make. It wasn't even on his channel, right? You couldn't believe it. And this guy's a real patriot. He's done a lot for the country. And, you know, that's what we're dealing with, Paul. We're dealing with real wrongs. I'm not sure what this is about because I didn't see the original post there, Paul.
No, I didn't know.
No, it's not, Paul. Do you think there's a difference between the Antifa ones and the ones on the marches for Gaza? And do we need to concentrate on our own? Do we need to concentrate on our own problems? I think what he's saying there, because I can't see the other chat, Paul, so I'll try and find it here, mate. But I'm going to have to go and look through a lot of stuff. But I think what you're saying there is that someone's maybe been saying that there's a difference between Antifa people and people on the Gaza marches. I think you're right, Paul. There isn't a difference. They're all cut from the same cloth. They all hate the UK. I mean, actually, funny enough, on this point, there was today in my hometown another incident. It's all going on today in my town, Paul. Little tiny town on the you know the northeast coast of Northern Ireland. not only was there a crazed knifeman allegedly arrested in a local park by a SWAT team, but then there was, I got a phone call about 6:15 saying there was a Free Palestine demo on the bridge leading into my town. So you can guess what I did. I was in the car, flew down there. By the time I got there, it was all over. They made the fatal mistake of doing the Free Palestine demo right next to a loyalist estate, and I think they were told unless they cleared off pretty soon, it might get a little bit unpleasant. But you know, this is a town that's a sleepy little seaside town, and they decided to do a Free Palestine demo. I mean, people are going mad, Paul. You know what?
Rich, can I pick something up in the chat there, mate?
Yeah, go for it.
Volts are not a one-trick pony either. Right, people could say, "Oh, they're just a one-trick pony," etc. Now, there's a message here that says it's from someone against animal abuse.
Yep.
And they say Ben Habib is a brilliant and very intelligent man, etc., etc.
Is that the one?
No, it's a different one, but it's the same person. Now, here's one thing that I will be taking up within the back end, if you like. I will be talking up for animal rights.
Yeah.
I'm not just a one-trick pony myself. There are other things that I believe in life, and animal rights is high on my list, the same as the protection of our children. So, you know, we're not just a one-trick pony party either.
Yeah.
Allow me. I want to see Halal meat gone.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, ritual slaughter. I totally agree, Paul. I mean, I think the animal rights issue again is massive, you know, because there's so much in certain communities where, well, they don't even want dogs walked in a lot of communities, right?
Exactly.
They want to ban dogs. I mean, what are you going to do with all the dogs? You know, it's ridiculous.
Richard, my friend, Richard B. Richard, that 40% of the population not voting at all, many of them did vote at Brexit, and it was probably the only bloody. So we're actually, you're right. And I'm right. We're both right, Richard. Is that yes, 40% of the population don't bloody vote, but what they did do at the Brexit vote is they got off their backsides and voted.
Yeah,
and that's what we need again.
I agree. And here's this one here, Nobby. I mean, love positivity, but how does Ben overcome reform? I just don't see it. I think the reality is that reform, unless reform completely reform and change what they're doing, and then if they change completely and actually took all the policies that Advance have got, well then, you know, that would be a start, but it's not going to be, we know what they're at, so it's not going to be enough. But if they did that, they would then have to carry out those policies, which would mean we get what we want by default anyway, but they're not going to. They can't because
Richard,
they shifted themselves so far to the left.
The answer to that, Nobby, is why did reform reject the people?
That lot.
Why did they do that? And I tell you why they did that lot, because they were going after, Nigel Farage thought that his path to victory was going after ex-Tories, ex-Lib Dems, ex-Labour people. And that is proven by the people that he is now filling the party up with, the same idiots that we voted to get rid of, but just wearing a different colour rosette.
And Paul, I think ideologically as well, I think, you know, he is not going to challenge the demographic shift in the country. And the reality is that does need to be challenged. You know, whether people like that or not, the truth of the matter is that if the demographic shift isn't challenged, it's basically, you know, the country is finished. So there does have to be a massive pushback on that. And that does mean mass deportations, first of all, of illegals, and then anybody that does not want this country to succeed as a Christian country. And I'm not talking about that this isn't affecting Sikhs or Hindus or Jews. In other words, people that are trying to subvert that and destroy that, which the Islamists are, they have no place in this country. I'm sorry, that sounds very harsh, but that's the reality. You can't.
Richard, are you aware of what's going on in Spain this week?
No.
Okay, so let me tell you how they dealt with this issue this week. There was some problems in a town with a certain community.
Yeah.
The Guardia Civil went in there and dealt with them instantly.
I'm sure they did.
They shut down the local mosque.
Yep.
And 2 days later, they hoisted the biggest crucifix you've ever seen on top of the Pyrenees
Yep.
And said Spain will be forever a Christian country.
Yep. And I think the thing is,
that's
Paul,
a message.
Well, it's a message. And the thing is, the Spanish have a long memory, because let's not forget that Spain was a Muslim country, I think, for half a millennium. I think from sort of 700 to maybe, again, I'm not a Spanish history expert.
It was around. It was a lot before, just before you were born, wasn't it?
Just before I was born. I was standing with El Cid, fighting against the Moors. You know, Sophia Loren in the tent we were fighting over. So yeah, no. I mean, the reality is that the Spanish have a long history of knowing how to deal with radical Islam, and had to push back because they were oppressed. The normal Christian people in Spain were oppressed for hundreds of years and tortured. And, you know, there's this myth, there's a book called The Myth of the Andalusian Paradise, right? And what it talks about is the idea that, you know, that the Spanish Muslims were this great tolerant breed, and they didn't they barbarically persecuted anybody that stepped out of line and went against the party line when it came to Islam. So let's put that one to bed. But yeah, the Spanish pushed back and they defeated Islamists, pushed them out of the country. And of course, the problem is that once Islam controls a territory, they don't want to give it back. It becomes part of their the Ummah. It becomes part of their empire, right? Part of the empire, and they don't want to give it back. And that's the problem that Spain's got. And the problem is, Islam is an expansionist, supremacist ideology, and it's here to take over. It's not here to negotiate. It's not here to have a peace treaty with you. It's here to take over. And people have just got to understand that. And that sounds very harsh and very, you know, anybody that doesn't know what's going on will say, oh, you're a nutcase. I just know the truth. And everyone needs to know the truth, and the truth will set you free. This is really important. The main reason I joined UKIP was that it was the only party that was promoting Christianity. I stepped back for a couple of months as it was all getting too much. Ben stands up now. Ben is not openly saying he's a Christian, right? So I'm not going to, you know, put words into Ben's mouth. But what I know of the way the party is set up, and at the very core of the party and the people that are working on the mission statement and so on and so forth, is a Christian ethos, right? Now, not everybody is a Christian, obviously, but I know there are people involved in the party at a very senior level who are Christians, and it is about protecting Christian civilization and the fact that the UK is a Christian nation. And going right the way back to Alfred the Great, that's how far the thinking's gone back on this by people that are the thought leaders in advance. So Ben's stance on Christianity is very friendly towards it. I don't think he'd say he's a Christian, but he's certainly not. He's not a Muslim anyway.
I would say Ben's like me, is a cultural Christian.
Yeah. I would say that. I would say that's very accurate, Paul. I'd say that's right. And you know, the reality is we've got to get back to Christianity as a people, as individuals, and as a nation, because that's where a lot of our problems have come from, that we have just not even paid lip service to it, downright spat in the face of Christ, I think, to a great extent with a lot of people. And knowing the people I know in the party, I don't think that's going to happen with Advance. It's not an exclusively Christian party, because Ben's not saying he's a practicing Christian. Paul's not saying he's a practicing Christian, but they're saying cultural Christianity is massively important to the makeup of our nation. And, you know, I know there are a lot of practicing Christians involved in the party at the very, very highest level. And again, we can't judge anyone else's heart. I mean, I don't know what Paul truly believes. Paul doesn't know what I truly believe. You know, everyone's got their own way to work things out and work out, you know, what this little journey that we've been on for the last few years is all about. You know what I mean? But yes, Carl, I would not have joined Advance if I wasn't absolutely confident that there would be a very, very strong Christian ethos within the party. That's one of the main reasons I'm there.
Richard, there's a question in the chat from Peter B. He says, anyone got any thoughts on Liz Truss? Now, before we go any further on that, you and I might disagree on that.
Yeah,
but I'd like to see Liz given a chance.
Yeah, me too. Look, she wasn't given a chance. I mean, she was absolutely shafted. And I think with Liz, Look, I mean, as you know, I've got a problem with Robert Jenrick because it's personal, because he did something that directly affects us. The week after Jenrick made his pronouncement about setting the security services loose on our demonstration, we basically had, TSG getting very, very menacing with us, asking people names and addresses and all that sort of stuff. So, and that was, I believe, a direct result of what Jenrick did. But anyway, but with Liz Truss was shafted when she became Prime Minister. She's come from a very liberal Tory wet background. I think she was a Lib Dem when she was at university. She was kind of a Remainer Tory. But if you listen to what Liz is saying now, she's saying exactly the right things. So I would say Suella Braverman, Liz Truss, Nick Timothy. There's another, I think she's called Coutinho, another Tory MP. Some of the Tories are really good, right? But they shouldn't be in the Tory party because they're not going to be able to actually achieve what they want to achieve. They should be with us. They should be in advance.
I think Liz is someone who has genuinely had her eyes opened.
Yeah.
And, you got to understand, if you're mixing in that, if you're in that Westminster bubble,
yeah,
it's going to be harder for you to have your eyes wide open when you're mixing in that crowd day in, day out.
Yep.
And it takes an extra level of bravery to step outside that bubble and go, no, you know what? You're wrong. This is right.
Yep.
And I think she's one of those people. But look, would she have been the best Prime Minister we've ever had? Maybe not. I don't know.
She never got a chance, Paul. We never
got a chance. But what I do know is she's on our side, and that will do for me.
Yeah, here's Jack. Do I understand? No. But you're watching, mate. I don't have a clue what's going on. Oh dear. You can have a laugh, can't you? Okay. Liz read the eulogy at the Queen's funeral. Spot on. I remember. She must be. Yeah. Look, Liz Truss. I think she's okay. I think she's. I tell you what, Jack, mate, you're in the comments. Let us know what you think of Liz Truss. Let us know what you think of how we're going to solve the country, and do it in 10 words on a post, and we'll read it out for you. Come on, Jack. Let's have your take on everything. So, Liz useless has a profile on the WEF, so absolutely not. Okay. Liz Truss gave us the Brexit we have today. She shafted Northern Ireland. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
It is.
That's a fair point. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people did that, and Ben, when he realised what had happened, that's when he got really radical about Northern Ireland.
The problem is, though, Richard, at what point do we say, look, these people have got good hearts, we have to give them a second chance? If we're going to win, we can't win alone. We can't win. We can't win with just people who have never put a foot wrong.
No, exactly.
Because there are very few people who have never put a foot wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. None of us.
It's like a football stadium, and you saying, right, no one can come in if you've ever done anything wrong. The bloody place will be empty.
Yep. Only Ben Habib so this is Jack's response. Only Ben Habib and Nick Tinconia will give back the country. So get behind Advance UK and UKIP in a coalition. Well, I don't think there will be a coalition. I think it's going to be Advance UK, and if Nick wants to join, Nick can certainly join, as far as I know, because anybody can join as long as you're a British citizen.
But Jack, listen, Jack, I admire your commitment, and I admire your patriotism.
Yeah, and look, I mean, at the end of the day, you've come back with an answer. We asked a straight question, you come back with an answer, so you've got your say. Again, I don't agree. I think everyone now has to get behind Advance. There's no point if you have a coalition, it gets messy. There's no need for a coalition. UKIP just need to wrap up and join Advance. I think that's the way it is.
Jack, what I would say to you, mate, because you're obviously very passionate, Jack, and I like that. But what I would say is, Jack, is unfortunately, Ben will appeal to a far bigger and wider audience than Nick. That's nothing personal against Nick. I like Nick, but at the bottom line is, someone like myself, I'm not going to appeal to the masses. Yeah. I'm not going to appeal to, middle upper class people that live in the shires.
Yeah.
And neither is Nick, neither is Richard, but Ben can appeal to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, look, again, English and Fed Up, hope Nick joins Ben, because Nick is saying what we're all feeling. I've always said that. I've always said that Nick has basically saying all the right things. But like Paul said, he just ain't going to have the electoral clout to do what needs to be done, because there's not the money, there's not the intellectual ballast, you know, that there is there. I mean, we've got people that can do the climate change thing. We've got people who do economics. We've got people who can do foreign policy. There's a lot of really good people, Paul, isn't there? There's a lot of very, very smart people.
Very.
And again, you know, it's a lot broader base. I mean, with UKIP, you get Nick, and that's it. And Nick with a picture behind him of himself. That's all you got. You don't have anything else, unfortunately. You know, so it's just that's just the way it is. And look, Nick, I'm sure Nick will get involved with Advance as he sees that it's the way to go. You know, UKIP need to pack it in and join Advance. Yeah, absolutely, Darren. That's where we're at now. That's where we're at. And I'm not going to tickle anyone's ears anymore. You know, I have no power in Advance other than being a member. So anything I say about Advance is completely irrelevant. So don't think it's party policy. I'm not here spouting party policy. All I'm saying is I support Advance, and I'm asking everybody else to get behind Advance. And
one thing I will say, Richard, earlier on, I said that, you know, everyone that's got red, white and blue in their eyes, well, the only exceptions that I would make are the bloody genuine far right, the real F-nats and all that. I'm not interested in them.
No, I'm not interested in them. I'm saying, yeah, exactly. Paul, Richard, are you British or English? I am English by the grace of God, and I am British by nationality.
Oh, I have to say I'm British. I'm a strong believer in the Union.
Well, so am I. I'm a massive believer in the Union. But if you talk to someone from Northern Ireland, they'd say they were British and Northern Irish. If you talk from someone that's Scottish Unionist, they'd say Scottish and British. So you can be both, you know.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely both. I'm extremely proud of being English. But
that's what I'm saying.
For me, I tell you what it is for me. Our boys that stood in those trenches, Jocks, Taffs, the boys from Ireland, Englishmen, they were British. They went over the top, fought and died together.
Exactly.
And that's the way I see it.
Well, that's right. I mean, that's right. But they had great pride in their local regiments, whether they were Yorkshire, whether they were, you know, the Anglians, the Royal Scots, the Black Watch. I mean, what a regiment the Black Watch is, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, I mean, look, I've served in the military. You know, I was willing to put my life on the line then, and my ideology on that has never changed. I will always, even if it's dangerous to do this, I'll do it, because the reality is there's so much at stake. And in the same way, you know, when I came to Northern Ireland to stand against terrorism, it was dangerous, and you know, a lot of people got killed. But the reality is, what we're doing now in its own way is dangerous, and you've got to be willing to pay whatever price is that you have to pay. It's as simple as that. And but yeah, I mean, I think there was something I was looking at there, and I've lost it now because I went on a bit.
Well done, Sharon.
Let's have a look. What was it? British. Richard thrives on danger. James, you've got the measuring me, mate. You've got them. I am a bit of a. I do like a bit of.
I've just thought of a new nickname for you, Richard, but I won't. I won't.
Go on, Paul. Go on, Paul. It's after midnight where you are, mate. You can say what you want now. You've got a complete free pass. You know. What
you're now Danger Dickie.
Well, you could have said something worse. You could have said Dangerous Dick, couldn't you? That would have been even worse, wouldn't it? You know, but, oh dear. No, I mean, look, this is the thing. I mean, I think we've, you know. Oh yes, that's what I was going to say. Right, if you've joined Advance, and you used to be in Reform, let us know in the comments. Just quick, let's do a bit of polling. If you've joined Advance and you used to be in Reform, let us know in the comments. Yeah, just very quickly.
I tell you what would also be interesting, Richard, is if you're a member of Reform, or if you still support Reform over Advance, let us know in the comments as well.
Yeah,
because what that will tell us is, Richard, the levels of work that's going to be required to get people to move over. Well, we would like to see that. Yeah. But trust me when I tell you, honestly, Advance is the way. Yeah. Advance is our advance. But let's see that in the comments.
Yes, absolutely. Get David Curtin to join the party. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I still report reform over advance. Okay, that's fair enough. You went okay. Hi Boo went from reform to advance. That's great news. I abandoned reform when they kicked Rupert out. Great stuff. Were you born under a cabbage leaf, John Rankin? That's not relevant to the question we asked. Come on, Mickey, you know the score. I joined advance. So a lot of these are saying they've gone from reform to advance. You know, I mean, obviously this is a scientific. I've joined advance. I've never been a part. Well done, Chester. Absolutely superb.
Yeah, well
fantastic. Me reform. UKIP and advance. that's a good direction of travel there.
Well done, Claire.
Yeah. Previous reform, now joined advance. This is all, and look, I mean, these are people that have been. Do you remember the stick we used to get for talking about reform, Paul? I mean, like, you know, I used to get absolutely savage. People were saying to you, "What are you having that idiot on your show for?" Do you remember? You used to get people email you saying, "Get Richard off the show." You were gracious enough to keep me on, Paul. You know, because you knew I was right anyway. Yes, reform have changed.
No, Richard, to be honest with you, no one else would come on. But there you go.
Mate. Well, that's the thing. Especially not after I'd been on about 3 or 4 shows. That was you ruined, Paul. You know, it's like the negative mind.
Richard, my life was perfect until I met you.
Well, so was mine until I met Tommy. So there you go. we've all been there. We'll just all blame Tommy for it. You know.
Now, look, I'll tell you what.
Advance. It's all going advance. You know.
Like you said, this is not scientific.
No, it's not.
Right? It's a very, very minuscule example. But what this shows you, this is showing you, is the potential. Now, if we've got 233,000 members.
Well, it looks like half of them have flipped and come over to advance already.
Exactly.
You know. I served in a proud Scottish regiment in the British Army. Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. Oh, very good. We are the Patriots. Okay, mate, sound. I didn't know you're ex-military lad. Good stuff. Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. They're probably now called the Scottish regiment now, unfortunately, like my regiment.
And what a few tunes he's been knocking out lately.
Oh, hasn't he just? Absolutely superb. We are the Patriots. Mate, you are an absolute legend. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Get over to We Are True Patriots and make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, We Are True Patriots. Go over his YouTube channel. It's absolutely awesome. I joined Reform, but I've also joined Advance. Brilliant. I was wanted to join Reform, but now swaying towards it. Well done, Anthony. Absolutely super job. It's David. No. March for Jesus, Belfast, August 23rd. Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at that. Always been a free voter and not signed to any, but I've joined Advance UK. Well done.
Well done, Lisa.
My father born in Edinburgh. My woman's father born in Essex. We're both born in Belfast. Okay, where are we going with this? I'm American, but I would choose Advance or UKIP if I could. Great stuff. I'm Advance. I mean, it seems like it's all gone. I'm going to ask another question now, and then we'll close off in about 5 minutes because I want to see how this polling goes, right? I'm going to ask, if you haven't already joined Advance, will you be joining Advance in the next week? So if you haven't joined, are you seriously considered joining? So that's all I want now is people that haven't joined Advance and you've been hearing everything that's been going on social media. Let me know. Will you now join Advance?
Going to let you in the little secret here.
Yep.
I believe today Advance have had more people sign up as members today than any previous one day before.
Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic.
This is a snowball that's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, look at this. Ryan said he's joining Advance. AMH, no. I've joined Advance. I will be joining Advance. Yes, joining Advance tomorrow. Look at this, Paul. I'd join twice if I could. well, you know,
Well
there's
done,
there is,
Hazel.
listen, there is a bit of a problem with people doing that. Not in joining parties twice, but voting many times with different names. But we'll not go into what demographic does that, will we?
Diane, take the plunge, Diane.
I've just do it, man. Carl's
done,
now just
Carl.
joined. Carl, brilliant. I mean, Carl was, banging the supers in there, and he's doing that. That's brilliant. Vote TUV in Northern Ireland. That's looking the way it's probably going to be. That we're going to be looking at some sort of something happening with the TUV. So I'm a proud member of it. But still, if you're in Northern Ireland, still join Advance because it'll all work out. Don't worry about it. Just join Advance. Also joined Restore. Yes. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with joining Restore Britain. I think, there's got to be some sort of. Let's talk about that quick. We'll finish this poll, and then we'll talk about that very quickly, and then we'll finish.
I mean,
who are Advanced, mate? Have you only just started watching? You're gonna have to rewind it. You're gonna have to watch from the beginning. Anyway,
Ben has. Look, listen. Ben has.
Lynn's just joined. Never been in a party before.
Brilliant, Lynn. Brilliant.
Just before this, Paul. Here's the thing that addresses what people were talking about earlier. There's an energy with this, Paul.
Yeah,
right.
He has all the momentum. The momentum is there.
But it's not just that. It's because he's the right man for the right time. Cometh the man, cometh the hour. This is the right time to be doing this, right? There's a massive energy behind it. And there's so many people involved in this. We don't give two hoots whether we got any position of power in the party. All we want is it to succeed, and
we want to win
and win, and not just for the sake of winning, but to completely transform our nation from the bottom up. And that's what this is all about. And if you want to transform the nation from the bottom up, get involved. Look at all these people that are saying they're joining. It's absolute. Yes, we'll join at the weekend. Look at that.
Brilliant.
James Bond, I get that, mate. There's nothing wrong with loyalty, mate. There's nothing wrong with loyalty. But sooner or later, it'll become obvious that,
James, can I ask you a question politely? Who are you more loyal to, UKIP or your country?
That's the truth, mate. That's
Come
the
on,
truth.
mate.
That is the truth, and that's not a dig at anyone. It's just we're just
it's not. No,
facts,
it's not.
Yeah?
Because I am my loyalty great.
Look at this. Alan joined because of us. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I was UKIP because of Nick, and I agree with pretty much. But Advance UK are the way. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely 100% right. Rupert Lowe is brilliant.
He is,
Rupert Lowe is great. We've got to find a way of pulling all these strands together, and I think the key.
There's a lot, Richard. There's so much to unfold. This is exciting, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. Look, 6 months ago, Tommy was in the nick.
Yeah,
right? We're all downbeat. We're all, what's going on? Right now we've got a brand new political party. Ben Habib is the leader. He's come out in support of Tommy. Howard Cox has come on board. Yep. We've got some of the biggest, some of the best brains that the country's ever seen in the background.
Yep.
And Tommy's on board. The whole of the United Kingdom's on board.
And remember, we've got to remember one thing.
People's Party.
We've got to remember one thing about Tommy. He can knock someone out who's as big as Herman Munster. Oh, mate, it's after 11 o'clock, mate. So
I tell you what, I don't think we'll be giving him the job.
Allegedly, I'll just say allegedly, not something.
I don't think he's going to get the job of Minister for Subtleness, is he? He's not going to. That's not going to. Probably not going to happen, that one.
But I mean, he there's got to be a sporting brief somewhere. He could, he'd be able to do MMA and boxing and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what, mate? I tell you what. Some of our school children could do with a bit of discipline.
Oh, well, look, I mean, do you know what? I mean, see, to be honest with you, what we need our young men
to be men.
We need to be getting them involved in the military, even if they can't join the regulars, join the TA, get involved in outdoor stuff, get involved in running around and, even stuff like boxing, MMA, what's the one, the thing that they do with the air rifles? What do they call it? You know what I'm talking about, Paul? Where they shoot each other with air rifles. That's
paintball.
No, it's not paintball. It's another one. Airsoft. It's great. Do you know what? Here's the thing. A couple of my mates were doing military advisor out in Ukraine, and they said the guys that were surviving on the ground were lads that had done airsoft stuff when they were younger. Airsoft and paintball. They were because seeing that trench warfare, someone comes around the corner. If you're used to doing airsoft, you swing around with your AK, you pump a few rounds off, you've killed the guy instead of him killing you. Whereas the ones that hadn't done it, they were hesitating, they were getting shot. You know, so that's what they said. Doing airsoft saved their lives. But anyway, that's just you're a veteran. You never heard of us. Listen, I apologise, Andy. I was pulling your leg there, mate. Advance UK is a new party formed by a guy called Ben Habib. Great team round him. It is going to save the country. I've always said about Advance UK, it's everything that reform should have been, but never was. Right,
and better.
So if you go to the website,
advanceuk.org.uk.
Yeah, can you put that in the comments there, Paul? Can you take that?
And thank you for your service as well, Andy.
Yeah, Andy, appreciate that, brother. And listen, go and check it out because I'm a veteran. You know, I love my country. I want my country to succeed. So I just wind people up sometimes. So I wasn't being cheeky when I said that earlier to you, mate. I was just having a bit of a laugh. But yeah, honestly, Andy, look on the website, and if you want to do it, get involved. Right, we've got a couple of supers here. What's this one? God bless you all. Keep up the good work, Richard, Paul, and co. Well, certainly, I mean, thanks for the encouragement. We need prayer. We need God on our side. And in my opinion, that's massively, massively important. This is a battle between good and evil. I know that sounds dramatic, but it really is. I think the battle we're in now. Sorry, Paul, go on.
No, sorry, mate. There's a bit of a delay. I didn't mean the car cross.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
I think I said to Ben yesterday in our interview, and by the way, I mean, again, look, I contacted Ben yesterday about 9 o'clock in the morning. I said, Ben, can I grab you for 10 minutes over the next few days? He went, how's 10:30?
I know.
Straight on it.
I know.
And I said to Ben during that interview, I said, Ben, you do realise that this is your calling. You've been sent to us for this job. And I really believe that.
Dan Watton played that today.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, Dan played that today in his piece. And Dan spoke very highly of you as well, you know. Joanne, with growing confidence and growing strength in the air, we shall defend our islands, Sir Winston Churchill. Do you know what? I mean, lovely. I think we have got Winston Churchills in this country, Paul.
We have.
I think we've got General Montgomerys, we've got Winston Churchills, we've got Paddy Blair Mains. We've got the same spirit and the same guts that won the Second World War is still in this country. Might not be everybody. There's a lot of weak people. There's a lot of cowards, but there's a lot of very, very brave people. Tommy, Ben, you know, many.
There's a lot of people out there.
And Aunt Middleton, you know.
I'm Charles Hawtrey.
Charlie Hawtrey.
Charles Hawtrey. You remember Charles
I remember
Hawtrey?
Charles Hawtrey.
Carry on.
Was he the one that was in A Christmas Carol? Oh no, that was Charles Lawton, wasn't it? That was Charles Lawton.
No, Charles Hawtrey was in all the Carry On films, wasn't he?
Which one was he, Paul? What was his catch? What was his catchphrase?
Oh,
it wasn't Stop Messing About. That was Kenneth Williams. Do you know I love the Carry On films?
Yeah,
you know, that's the other thing, Paul. But what we'd need to have a ministry for comedy. We need to bring back good old British commentary. You know,
banter, bit of banter and some jokes.
We need
Women's allowed to have a laugh.
We need a Sid James, a Barbara Windsor. I know who Charles Lawton. The wee guy with the glasses. That's who Charles Lawton.
That's me.
He got beheaded and carrying up the Khyber.
That's it, yeah.
Do you know what? I love those. I love those films. And of course, Kenneth Williams' famous Shakespearean line in Carry On Cleopatra. Infamy, infamy. They've all got it infamy. You see, you wouldn't get that on the news at 10. You wouldn't get Kenneth Williams quotes on the news at 10.
Right, so I often like to give people something to watch when they finish watching us, right? Tonight, Carry On Camping.
Carry On Camping. Carry On at the Khyber. Carry On Cleopatra is one of my favourites. It had that woman out of Coronation Street. She was obviously a lot younger, but you know what I mean. But yeah.
Infamy, yeah.
Infamy. They've all got Sid James plays Anthony. The woman out of Coronation Street plays Cleopatra, and Kenneth Williams, of course, is Julius Caesar. Charles Lawton was a prophet. Oh, mate. Carry On Camping. There you go. Yeah. Put your favorite just in the comments before we go. Put your favorite Carry On film in the comments, and then we'll call it a night.
Dear, oh dear.
Oh,
We
mate.
got. Listen, mate. I tell you what, I'm flying at the moment. Richard, I'm more enthusiastic now, I think, than I've ever been. You know.
Yeah.
Things are happening, and it's good.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're coming up to the weekend again, guys. A lot of people say we're not going to win this peacefully. You know, we've got to do this. We've got to get out on the streets. Blah blah blah. Look, yes, get out there and demonstrate. Get out there and but like Suella Braverman said earlier on, do it peacefully. Do it within the law. And look at the great optics that we've had over the last couple of weeks. Those brilliant women dancing in pink to Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
Well, argue against that, BBC, and put that in your bloody pipe and smoke it.
Well, what a friend of mine said, you know, I think I said this before on a stream. During the Troubles, there was a strike in 1974. It was to bring down the Sunningdale Agreement, which the Unionists didn't want anything to do with. And he said the only reason that they won when Sunningdale happens because the middle class got involved. And what's happening now? Now it's moving out to Epping. It's moving out to the leafy suburbs. It's moving out to Nuneaton. It's, you know, goodness knows where next. St Albans. Goodness knows. People are going to start reading it and they're going to be going, hold on a minute, you know, this is not good. And I think
carry on screaming.
Carry on screaming. That was great, wasn't it? With
oh, Richard, by the way, I did try to put the link in the chat, but it won't let me. So you're going to have to do it. It's advanceuk.org.uk.
Okay. Let's have a look.
The black fingernail. Yeah.
advanceuk.org.
www.advanceuk.org.uk.
There we go. That's it in the chat there, guys. I'll just put it on the screen when I get down to the bottom. There we go. Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, Counter Media UK, please subscribe to the channel. No doubt it'll get banned soon, sooner or later, because I'll say something that the censors will just not be able to take. They'll be grabbing for their sick bags. But follow the channel anyway, because
look at the support. Look at the support for Ben in the unbelievable.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, June. What about June Slater? Do you know what? I'll say one thing for June. She's loyal to the core and shit. I watched her the other day, and she was like, you know, she's still fighting for Farage. Do you know when I'll know we're going to win the election, Paul? When June Slater comes and says, "All right, they were all wrong. I was wrong in the first place. I'll go over to reform." That'll be it. June Slater will say that, and that'll be it. We'll win the next election, Paul. That's
well.
It.
I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to. I like June.
I think she's great.
I speak to June quite a bit.
Yeah.
I like to think we're good friends, and I respect June immensely, and I won't have a bad word said against her. I think that she, you know, I think we disagree on certain things, but I tell you now, she has got red, white, and blue running through her veins, and that'll do for me.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be great if she came over?
It would be.
That's the thing, Paul. That's the point. The point I'm making is because June is a diehard Farage supporter, right? And again, I'm not same as UKIP people. I'm not criticizing people's loyalty, but if they all come over to Advance, then that's it done.
Yeah,
that's it. You know. Yeah. Not quite, because obviously we need to win across the great British public, but yeah, I mean it's. Oh man, too much. We looked at that already. Richard. No, I don't trust the police. I mean, the reality is it's all a game, and as long as you know it's a game, and as long as you know how the game's been played, then you know I would rather go and talk to the police than have them come and smash my door in at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'd rather go down and have a chat with them and find out exactly what it is, why it is they think that they need to chat to me. So, you know, that's what I'll be doing, and I'll be taking people with me. I'll be recording everything, so I don't trust them at all. I absolutely agree with that comment. Okay, there's a new Carry On movie. Duo Carry On. Oh, Carry On Up the Shit Creek, starring the Labour Party. Brilliant, Michael. Love it. Absolutely love it. Unite the clans. Absolutely, we need to get everyone together. We need to get absolutely everybody together on this. Yeah, that cross. Someone saying that cross in Spain was great. Well, Windsor Davies, yeah, he was in the Carry On films as well. Wasn't
he? A friend of mine married his daughter.
Really?
I've just had a message here from someone. It says of Reform's 230,000 members.
Yeah.
Only 2,000 tuned in tonight for their final election hustings.
Wow.
No one cares.
Wow. Yep. I think. Well, this is it. I think that they could be having what's called a dead cat bounce. You know what I mean? So they could be on the way out and just not realizing it. Dick Dastardly and Muttley was great. Yeah. Carry on, Advance UK. All right.
I'm just replying to this. Bear with me a sec. Look, live. I'm replying to a.
Yeah.
Carry on, Richard.
Yeah, sure. No, I was. Do you know? I was just reading the comments there. Sometimes you get dragged into them. My wife's favourite carry on is carry on sending them back. Superb. Going to watch a Carry On movie after this. Thanks for the tip, Paul and Rich. I'm in the US, so I can't join. Support Ben Advance. Pray for us, brother, and enjoy the Carry On movies. You'll absolutely love them. Like I say, Carrying Up the Khyber is an absolute corker of a film. Carry On Camping is superb.
Do you know what? A lot of that. We're finished on the light ones. Mate, we can off rabbit.
We've been called the Chuckle Brothers.
Hour and 40 minutes we've been on. Look, God, bloody hell. Enough to send anyone to sleep. Do you know what? The value of sleeping tablets has gone down since we've been doing this, Richard. You know?
Oh, mate, I tell you what, well, insomniacs are us. But I mean, here's the thing: we're sitting at nearly 12 o'clock UK time, nearly 1 o'clock your time, and we've still got over 1,200 people watching.
Crazy. And I won't be. See, I'm in the Spanish way of life now, mate. I don't do a lot during the day. Well, I do, but nothing physical.
I must be Spanish as well, then, Paul.
I don't go to bed till 3 o'clock now.
Mate, I was doing, when I made that video about the Civil War, I was up till 4 o'clock that night. I did about.
You do realise half that humour in them Carry On films wouldn't be allowed today.
No, it wouldn't. Just Fiddler.
Just Fiddler, yeah. Everything's a pound, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a pound. That's another pound.
Sarah, we love you. I mean, we love all our people, everybody that's in the chat, even the ones that hate me. Even if you hate me in the chat, we're still going to love you.
Hey, look, listen. At the end of the day, if we can't get out there and win our country back for all our view, at least we can try and give a bit of a laugh. I mean, at the end of the day,
absolutely.
Carry On taxis, yeah.
Carry On taxis, yeah.
Oh dear, that's funny.
Now, Margaret, I take it you're talking about my video about the Civil War, not the Carry On films.
Claire Bear's pissing myself in laughing in A&E. Everyone's looking at me. I hope you're all right, Claire Bear.
That's because she split her sides laughing earlier on.
Carry On, matron. Ooh, matron, yeah. That was you know what? The old-fashioned 60s, 70s, 80s British humour. Carry On.
There's my film, Carry On Dick.
Carry On Dick, yeah.
That was Dick Turpin. Oh, that's it. That's what ours should be called. Carry On That Lot. That's what our Carry On film is. Carry On That Lot.
Or Carry On Tommy.
Carry On Tommy. No, it'd be Rock On Tommy.
Oh dear.
Oh boys. Well, look, I think we should actually try and have a little bit more happiness, a little bit more laughter in our things. We need to get Tufsy on, Paul. I mean, we get Tufsy on for a bit of a giggle.
Yeah.
Get him on to do a live. There's no reason for him not to do lives. The
funny thing is,
what was happening, and he started dancing, and I just thought, you absolute twat. I wish I could dance. He was just dancing in his kitchen and just pulling all these moves. I was just going, man, it's difficult when you're 6'2" to do that. You know what I mean?
It is, mate. Yeah, especially when you're carrying a bit of excess as well, mate. And we're both guilty of that,
mate. Listen, there's a little bit too much timber. It's just padding.
I'll keep looking and thinking, when's it due? It's like
people have asked me that a few times. You know what I mean? Faulty Towers. Right, guys, listen, brilliant stream. Thanks, everyone, for jumping on. Really enjoyed it. Paul, thanks so much, mate. It wouldn't have been like, if I was on my own, it wouldn't have been like this, mate. It's absolutely...
No, it'd have been far more professional, and it'd have been more like the news at 10. So.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. It would have all gone south after about 20 minutes. You know?
Guys, it is the weekend coming up. We are up and running. Get out there and join Advance UK this evening or tomorrow or over the weekend. But just join us, because we are at last. We've got something to grasp.
We're going to win. We're going to win.
We're going to win.
You know, there's just, it's not like there's a false arrogance. There's just a quiet confidence that this is something very special that we're involved in. And I'm just happy to be along for the ride and just going, you know what, wherever it takes us, it takes us, you know, and absolutely brilliant.
Can I just, before we go, nominate Keir Starmer for a Carry On film?
Yeah, go on then.
Carry On Wanker.
Yeah. He would, yeah, certainly. I mean, that would be a good one. You know, God bless you both. Fantastic show, lighthearted. We've got to laugh in the face of adversity. Just
absolutely.
And by the way, guys, if my door comes up the hall, I will be doing a GoFundMe. I'll be wanting a fully reinforced door for next time. So if the old bill come knocking, I need your support. And Paul's paying my legal fees.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Richard.
Right, guys. Okay, Sharon. See you soon. And
Sharon.
Have a good one. Everyone, have a cup of Horlicks and go to bed.
Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to Richard's channel, please make sure you do so, and also mine as well, if you don't mind.
Paul Thorpe.
Love you all.
Go and find. If you don't know Paul, everybody should know Paul. But if you don't know Paul, look for Paul Thorpe on YouTube. Look for Counter Media on YouTube. Sign up to all our channels, because we need to keep doing this.
I've got to be fair, Richard. If people don't know me that are watching this, don't bother, because honestly, you probably
no, do you can't have enough subs, Paul.
You're probably better off without me in your life.
There we
honestly.
go. We got a new one there. Piku Peak is a sub to all three, so keep going, keep subbing, guys. Right? We are going to go. So God bless you all, and join Advance UK. See you soon.
Free Lucy Connolly.
Free and sign the pledge. Right, we're done.
Love to you all.
Bye now.